Hey guys, Kevin here with the eTrailer, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Coil SumoSprings on our 2018 Chevy Silverado 1500. So these Coil SumoSprings are going to be really great if you have a snow plow on the front of your Chevy, your Dodge, or your Ford truck, or if you have a wench or any other front-mounted accessory. Maybe you have a bike rack on the front and you've got 4 bikes and it's really just sagging you down up front and you just need that extra support, and so that you don't feel all those bumps in the road up front. These are also really good if you're off-roading. It'll help give your springs a little bit more oomph there so that they can hold in place and give you a nice stable ride. So as you start putting on heavier and heavier loads, these springs are going to compress and get harder and harder as you go, so that they're not super stiff when you have a lighter load, but they do stiffen up if you start putting on a heavier load. These are resistant to UV rays, oil, any dirt. They're not going to be damaged by any of that. So as you can see, these coils have divots to go in between your coils, but then you have a solid rubber right here that's going to give you a softer ride for lighter loads, and then as you start compressing more, it's going to stiffen up and support those heavier loads without giving you that real stiff ride whenever you don't have anything on there. They are made with they're UV resistant, made to withstand road salt, any dirt, abrasions. So you're not going to have to worry about these wearing out. They're not going to dry out like you might have with other kind of rubber products. And these are all maintenance free, so there's nothing you have to do once you have these on. So now we've gone over some of the features of these coil springs. Let me show you how we installed it. So to start off with our installation, we're going to have to first lift the vehicle. We want to have no pressure on our front axle so that there's nothing squeezing against our springs, because this is going to be a tight fit. It's going to be too hard to push in there if you got any weight on them. Once we do that, all you need to do is take some soap and water and spray this down. You want to make sure that you don't have any abrasives or anything in there that's going to kind of give you any friction while you're trying to push your springs on. So like I said, just any kind of soapy water, just some regular dish soap will work. Just kind of clean it up. Can be a little hard to get in here. Make sure you're careful with this. This housing right here, all made out of metal, it's kind of sharp. I actually scratched my hand on the other side when I was first installing it. So just keep an eye out for that. All right, so there's 2 different sizes to these rings here. So this depth's a little bit shallower and this one's deeper. The deeper one is going to be our bottom. So we're going to want to put it on like this. To make this a little bit easier, we're going to take some dish soap. We're going to squirt this in each side and kind of rub it around. Get this lubricated up. This isn't going to harm your springs. It's not going to harm the coil spring here. So you don't have to worry about that. It just makes it a whole lot easier. And this is actually recommended by the manufacturer as well. I'm going to also do the inside just because it's going to be getting the full force coming against the coil here. Make it slide on a little bit easier. Okay, so to do this tool-free installation, one thing I found easier is kind of use this to kind of hold it on there so it's not in your way and you can kind of pull it up. You do want to be careful, this will slip off. It is all greased up with that dish soap, but you want to get your bottom on first. Kind of seat it on there just a little bit and then just press in the top. All right, now I got the top in. We're just going to slowly slide it up so that we don't end up popping off. Maintain pressure as you go so that you don't lose it. And there we go. It's coming on. And now it's in place. So you want to kind of slide this so that it's centered. You want it, because there is going to be the other half of this kind of on the other side. You may need to slide it one way or the other just to kind of get it where you need it. So we got a little bit closer to the middle here. And like I said, be careful because you catch that. It cut my glove, didn't get me. but you're gonna wanna make sure that you don't end up hurting yourself here. All right, now that we got that in place, we're gonna take some zip ties and we're gonna go in each of these holes to tighten this down to keep it from sliding. One other thing that the manufacturer talks about is if there's any overhang. So as the two ends come around, if they do end up meeting each other and kind of having to fight each other for the space, you are able to cut some back. You just don't want to cut off more than like an inch. All right, so I'm going to put my zip tie in and have it facing like this so that when I loop it up, I can pull it down tight like that. So now we're just going to feel around for our holes. Got one right here. Stick my hand up in here. You may have to press on this rubber housing here, so that'll be in your way, kind of holding against it, and just force it up. All right, now that we have those zip ties in place, all we have to do is just slap our wheel back on, tighten it up, and then drop her down, and you're good to go. So my thoughts about this installation is it's definitely one of the easier installations I've done here. Really, all you need to do is just really get that force on there, and you're good to go with a little bit of dish soap. So all in all, it should only take you maybe like 15 to 30 minutes to get this completed. All right, and I think that about does it for our installation on the coil SumoSprings on our 2018 Chevy Silverado 1500. My name's Kevin. Thanks for watching.